Hi everybody, it's me again, Shelley. This year kicked off the celebration of 100 years of female suffrage in America. The 19th Amendment was passed by Congress on June 4th, 1919, but it took over a year for the 36th state to ratify it. Three-quarters of the states are required, and that's how many it took at that time. The state was Tennessee, which approved it on August 18th, 1920. The centennial celebration has created some renewed interest in the long history for women's suffrage, and includes a new book by Elaine Weiss that examines the roles of several women who are active in the debate in Tennessee at the time, including women who were opposed to it. The polarization of the public and the motivations behind these various groups is not something we often cover in U.S. history courses, but this presents a wonderful opportunity. We usually present the 19th Amendment as a foregone conclusion or as a historical footnote, but looking at it can really give us a chance to take some missed opportunities to teach some important principles and consider some interesting ideas. Using print media from the period is a good way to show a more public reaction to an event. The newspaper is generally considered a medium of the common man, so it gives you a little bit of a better understanding of what's happening. The three I chose center on the 19th Amendment and some of the debates surrounding it. The first one covers the actual Tennessee debate before ratification. Published August 8, 1920 in the Washington Post, it covers the calling of the members of the Tennessee legislature into special session. Several measures were up for vote. Some members were a little late getting there because they were called so quickly. But suffrage itself wasn't the only thing on the agenda. It was also the legal status of women and some of the qualifications for voting, including a poll tax and some kind of time requirement before they would be able to vote after registration. The second article exemplifies a more immediate and personal reaction. Again, it's the Washington Post, August 22nd, 1920, so just a couple of days after ratification. The registrar for Louisiana County, Virginia, resigned because he refused to register women to vote. And the article actually states that, quote, Mr. Dunn expressed his heartfelt disgust at the action of the Tennessee legislature. The third article covers something that is a little lesser known. It's the Baltimore Sun, December 15th, 1920. And it outlines arguments presented in a case that was a challenge to the constitutionality of the 19th Amendment. Their basis was taken from state constitutions that prevented some legislators from voting on these measures, and it covers the arguments made by both sides, and at the end actually states that the case probably would go all the way to the Supreme Court. Now, reading these can lead to some really interesting discussions in a classroom. Questions that are up for debate. Why would some groups oppose the right of women to vote? And the students could use their knowledge, their previous learning of the culture of the time to really make conclusions. And as a teacher, you can really guide those discussions. Another question, why would women not want the right to vote? Why would some women oppose that? How did the fight for female suffrage influence the later civil rights movement? That would be a great way to tie the 20th century together. And one that could really be used well in a Christian school, in a Christian classroom, is this idea of morality, faith, and social change. And it could be a really leading discussion into, is opposition to a particular law or way of going about doing things based on traditional morality or on biblical morality. And it would really allow the students to dig really deeply into the Bible and really deeply into what they believe. Using current celebrations of events is a simple way to introduce a better understanding of the past and make connections to our modern world. It can help our students hone their critical thinking skills and further develop those historical habits of mind.